Hello everyone. Good morning to all of you. How are you all? I hope people are doing good in your home. Students, now as you people have came to your new class, okay, you all have got promoted from 10th standard and now you people are in 11th standard. I congratulate you all for this. Okay students, here today we are going to start your economics class. Okay, I hope you people were aware of your precise syllabus, and if you are not, then let me just tell you that what all chapters you have to learn in this session, as 30% has already got reduced from the previous syllabus. Okay students, so basically students, in economics you have to learn two books, okay, that is statistics for economics and the introductory of microeconomics. Okay students, so the first we are going to discuss about the book introductory to microeconomics. People, you all have to purchase the book of V.K. Ohri and T.R. Jung. Okay students, whenever we are going to meet in the class, okay, you all should have the book of V.K. Ohri and T.R. Jung for both the part, that is statistics for economics and introductory to microeconomics. Okay students, from that book only we are going to learn the further chapters. Okay, today I am just going to tell you all about the different topics which is now there in the as per of latest syllabus. Okay students, so here first of all, in microeconomics you have to learn about the introduction part. Okay, like in introduction part you have to understand that what is microeconomics, macroeconomics, what is positive economics and what is normative economics. Okay, then what is an economy, what are the central problems of an economy, okay, and the opportunity cost. This all is in your first part, first unit, that is the introduction part. Then you have to learn in the second one consumers equilibrium and demand. Okay, so in that we are going to learn the consumers behavior part. Okay students, afterwards it's producer behavior and supply. Okay, because consumers used to do demand, that is why we all are consumer, we consume the things now, so that is why we are consumer, and consumer behavior and demand were studied together, and producers who all are producing, so they are doing the supply also of goods and services, so that is why producers behavior and supply we will study together. Okay, and then there are forms of market and price determination under perfect competition with simple applications. So this much only, like after producers behavior and supply, the next topic, the next unit is forms of market and price determination under perfect competition with simple applications. So this much you have to learn in microeconomics part. In statistics, okay, you have to again learn first of all what is the introduction part of economics, meaning, scope, function and importance of statistics in economics. Okay, then collection, organization and presentation of data is your second unit. In that you have to learn and understand that how we used to collect, organize and present our data. Okay, then students, the third one is about the statistical tools and interpretation. Okay, under that you have to learn about the measures of central tendency, that is arithmetic mean, median and mode. Okay, so you people are also already aware of this all concept, so I hope it will not be like a burden. Okay, then measures of dispersion, correlation and index number. These are some new concepts for you. So this much is your syllabus for this section. Okay students. So without wasting the time, as I have already given you the introduction of economics and what is micro and macroeconomics, today students, let's just see the video of your first chapter. Okay, that is the introduction to microeconomics. Okay, so let's just watch it and afterwards I am going to explain you. Okay students.
An economy.
So now we are going to learn about what is an economy. Okay.
This topic covers basic problems of an economy, optimum utilization of resources, organization of economic activities, types of economies.
Yes, so here which all things we are going to cover? Basic problems of an economy, optimum utilization of resources, organization of economic activities and types of economies. Okay.
Scarcity. Economic problems arise when wants exceed and there are limited resources that are available to fulfill those wants.
So now let's just begin from here only. The first word that's coming here, it's about scarcity. Okay, so scarcity is what? That is in limited amount. That is only called as scarcity. Okay, kami. Okay, so now it is saying that when the wants are unlimited and resources are limited. Okay, that means what? That we wish to buy and purchase and want n number of things. Okay, but as of resources, for example, as of money, we are having limited amount of money, but we want to purchase lot and lot of things. Okay, so in that way, what will happen? That there will be the economic imbalance. Okay, the economy will not be in balance if the limited resources are there and the wants are unlimited. Okay. So here it is saying now that what are the economic problems? So economic problems arise when wants exceed and there are limited resources that are available to fulfill those wants. So what happens students, that when we are having limited resources only, but we want to what? We want to purchase, we want to get all the things in many large amounts. So in that way the balance get affected. Which balance? So economic balance get affected. So this is one of the economic problem. Okay, let's see the next thing.
Basic problems of an economy. Economy faces basic problems like what to produce, how to produce, how much to produce, and for whom to produce.
So now students, it is very much important thing you all should understand. Okay, we have discussed that what is economic problem. So economic problem is what? That we are having unlimited wants with limited or scarce resources. Okay, so like with the given resources, how we are going to fulfill our wants. Okay, so we have to prioritize for that. Okay, we have to prioritize our need, our choices with the given budget, with the given resources. So now the basic problems. Okay, like when we are going to prioritize the things, so this all problems come in the form of questions that one has to think. Okay, why optimizing their resources. Okay, that what to produce, what all things has to be produced. This is basically students we are saying about the economic problem. So it is about the government prospects. Okay, government has to think about it, that what to produce. That means what? Again, that we are having a different kind of people in our country. Many are rich, many are middle class, many are poor. Okay, so while taking care of all the sections of society, we have to produce the goods accordingly so that all the sections of the society will get the food grains or whatever the needs are there to them. Okay, so this is the first problem, that is what to produce. Okay, now how to produce. How to produce the things, the products in our country. So basically now here it is saying about the technique of production. Okay, technique of production is what again, that in our country is in the second rank for the population. We are the second highest populated country. That means what, n number of laborers are available for working, whereas as compared to the machineries and capital, we are having more labor. So basically the technique of production are of two types. Okay, the first one is labor intensive technique and the second one is capital intensive technique. Okay students, so in a country where there are more number of people are there as compared to the capitals or money, they will go for the labor intensive technique of production. Okay, whereas the countries like Japan, America, where the population is not so much but the capital, the machineries are more and more, so they will go for the capital intensive technique of production. Okay, so this is the second question. Now, how much to produce? Again, it is saying about the quantity. How much to produce for the different sections of people. So that also has to be taken care while producing. So this also has to be taken care by the government. Now, for whom to produce? Okay, किसके लिए produce करना? For whom to produce? Again, there are the different sections of the society. Okay, and accordingly only we are going to produce the foods. Okay, like for example, okay, if we are taking example of soaps, detergents, okay, washing powders, so it is of costly also and it is of cheap rates also. Okay, why it is like that? Because everybody will not go for the higher one only, the higher cost products only, or everybody will not buy the cheap products only. There are different sections of people living in the society. Okay, so they will go according to their budget only for purchasing the different types of goods. Okay, so similarly students, this all are the basic problems of an economy, or in the question if it is coming, what are the central problems of economy? So these are basically of three: what to produce, how to produce and how much to produce. This two will come together. Okay, what to produce, how to produce and how much to produce and for whom to produce. These are the basic questions which come, okay, by deciding for the goods production. Okay, so these are the central problems of economy. Let's see the next thing.
Optimal utilization of resources. The PPF shows all the combinations of a pair of goods that can be produced during a specific period given fixed resources and technology, and making full and efficient use of the available factor resources. From the given resources, at point A, the output produced is 10 bags with no output of 0 shoes. From point B to point E, the output for shoes and bags are produced. At point C, there is equal production of shoes and bags. The points M and N are output combinations which are produced by underutilization of resources. In this graph, M is equal to underutilization of resources. N is equal to overutilization of resources.
Now students, you have to understand this basic and important concept. Okay, what is all about? Here it is the x-axis, here it is the y-axis. This curve is called as PPF, that is the production possibility frontier. Okay, now what is all about? You all will get confused that all things are coming. So this curve is the production possibility frontier, that is the PPF in the short term, or it is also called as PPC, that is the production possibility curve. Okay, that means what? Come on, let's just discuss about this word. What it is saying? Production possibility. Okay, that means what? What are the possibilities of the production of two resources with the given resources? Sorry, two goods with the given resources. For example, students, like we are having 1,000 rupees. Okay, in 1,000 rupees we have to produce two goods. Okay, and the two goods are your shoes and bags. Okay, with the same budget, with the same amount, you are choosing the different combinations of producing the two goods. Okay, goods का मतलब क्या? चीजें. Okay, so here let's just first discuss about the definition. Here, what the PPF is all about? So it is showing that it shows all the combination of a pair of goods. Okay, first of all, just remember, combination of a pair of goods. So whenever we are talking about the PPF, it is always going to show the combination of two goods. Okay, always two goods only. We are going to show that in the two graph lines, that is the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, now it is saying that it is a combination of a pair of goods that can be produced during a specific period given fixed resources and technology. That means what? At a certain period of time with the given resources. As I am saying that 1,000 rupees is there with me and I have to produce two goods with that given resources. So I can choose any combination that will satisfy my needs. Okay, now it is saying I am making full and efficient use of available factor resources. That means what? That whatever the resources I am having, I am going to choose it in such a manner that it is going to give us the full and efficient satisfaction, okay, in the production. Now it is saying that in a specific period of time only we have to produce it by choosing the different combination. So we can, students, like we have to choose a certain type of combination. So what this graph is saying, the data is available here only. Okay, so what it is saying that we are having certain combination of resources. Okay, like 1,000 rupees is with me and I have to produce two goods. Okay, so if I am not interested to produce shoes, I will produce 10 units of bags. So the combination will be what? 0 and 10, and that you can see here. Here it is 0 and here it is 10. Okay, so this is the output of bags. This x-axis is showing the output of bags and your y-axis is showing output of shoes. Okay, so that is why here as it is 0, so here 0 and 10 is here. So that means what? The first one it is saying about that a person is choosing the 10 units of bags while no 0 units of shoes. And what are the other combination can be done? Okay, with the given resources only. In that 1,000 rupees or whatever is there. Okay, so here it is. Now again that 3 units of shoes or 8 units of bags, that combination can be done. So here the B point is locating that 8 one and here the 3. Okay, the second one. Now the C point is saying that 6 and 6 unit of both. So this is the point of C. Okay, that here the 6 units of shoes and 6 units of bags we are choosing, and accordingly like 9 and 4. So that is the next fourth combination. Here 9 is showing, here it is 4. So the D point is the location of this combination. Here you can see this also. Now the E point is showing 12 units of shoes and 2 units of bag, that is showing here in the E, and again F, that is showing again the 15 units of shoes and 0 tables only, because you have to learn all the concepts related to the graphs only. So you have to be friendly with this all concepts now. Okay, you have to learn all the graph related things. I hope you people are already knowing and aware. So whatever now the concepts are going to be there in the coming time, we are going to learn it with the help of data and graph only. Okay students, so I hope you have understood this topic. Let's just see the next thing.
Organization of economic activities. In a centrally planned economy, the decision-making power is with the government. In a market economy, all activities are organized through the market.
Okay, now it is saying organization of economic activities. Okay, so basically it is saying now that your centrally planned economy. Okay, economy is what? It is all about the business related to the demand and supply, producing and purchasing, okay, buying and selling in the market while doing the learning the consumer and producers behavior. So here now it is saying that in centrally planned economy, the decision making power is with the government. See students, you have to understand this all things, okay, that there are different types of economy according to the different countries scenario. Okay, you people are knowing that we are having mixed economy. Okay, our government is prevailing with the mixed economy where the public and private sector both used to work together. We have already learned this all things in your previous class in economics. Yes. So here now it is saying that market economy, the next type of economy. Here what is the thing? In a market economy, all the activities are organized through the market. Okay, that means what? That in the market automatically all the works are taking place. Okay, like market. In market the sellers are selling the goods. Okay, and the buyers are purchasing the goods. Okay, so in that way you have to understand the two concepts, that is the central planned economy and the market economy, where the central planned economy all the decision power making is done by the government, and here it is organized through itself in the market. Okay students, let's see now the next clip.
Types of economies. There are three types of economies: developed and developing economies, closed and open economy, capitalist, socialist and mixed economy.
Now students, we have to learn about the types of economies. Okay, types of economies are again what? It is about different countries are doing the different kinds of behavior in their countries. So what is the practice of the different countries, how the economy runs in the different types of country. So the first one, it is saying about the developed or developing. So the examples of developed is USA, okay, and developing we can say about our country where we are in the way of progressing towards the developed stage. Okay, and developed countries are already achieved that all the basic things like the per capita income is very good, the employment rate is very good, but we people are on the way to progress. So that is why it is called as developing. Okay, India is a developing country. Okay, now types of economies. Next part is closed and open. Now what is closed and open? So closed economy are those economies where there is no interaction of the country with the other country in terms of international trade. Okay, that means what? That those countries who don't interact with the other country in terms of trade, they don't go for import and export of the goods and services to each other, that all countries are called as closed economy, because there whatever the selling and purchase of the goods and services are there, that has to be taken place inside the country only. They were not interacting to the other country in terms of trade. Whereas it is about open economy. In an open economy, what happens? The word is there, students, globalization. Okay, so what is globalization? It is interaction of countries for the terms of what? International trades, where the countries are exporting and importing the goods and services for the needs, for the fulfilling of their needs. Okay. Now the next one is about the capitalist, socialist and mixed economy. So basically there are different types of categories we have divided about the economies. Economies can be of developed and developing, it can be closed and open, and it can be capitalist, socialist and mixed economy. This all I have already taught you and you people have learned in 10th class. I am just giving you a little idea here. Capitalist economies are those economies where the people used to do all the work with the intention of getting profit. Okay, they were thinking about development of themselves. Okay, so that is the capitalist economy. Socialist economies are those economies. Example of socialist economy is USSR, that is the Russia. Okay, so that is the socialist economy. Okay, where the things were done for the welfare of the people. Okay, all the works were done for the welfare of people, and it is not allowed to do anything for their profit. Okay, and then the mixed economy. Okay, mixed economies are what? Where the capitalist and socialist both concepts come together. Okay, here what happened, that the private and public sector both work together. Okay, some public sectors are having the work to do the welfare for the people living in the country, and the private sectors are allowed to do the business and gain profit. So our country is mixed economy. So mixed economies example is India, socialist economies example is Russia, and capitalist economies example is USA or America. Okay, let's just see the next thing.
Developed and developing economies. A developed economy is defined as an economy with a high per capita income. A developing economy is defined as one with a low per capita income but with the potential to develop.
Yes, so as I said that how we are going to segregate it. So developed economies are those economies where there is a high per capita income. That means what? All the individuals are earning a very good amount of money. Okay, whereas in developing economy it is defined as one with a low per capita income but with the potential to develop. That means what? That the basis is here what? Per capita income. Per capita income is high in developed, whereas in developing as compared to developed it is little low, but it is having the potential to reach to develop. That is why it is saying that developing is that all which is ongoing process for the developed stage. Okay students, let's see the next thing.
Closed and open economies. In a closed economy, transactions take place only within the economy. There is no possibility of exports or imports taking place. The national income is equal to the domestic income. In an open economy, transactions take place between different economies. Currently, all the economies are open economies.
Yes students, so I have told you that same concept is here also, you can see. Okay, and it is saying now that currently no country is closed economy. Okay, currently all the economies are open economies. That means what? All the countries are doing the international trade to each other. Okay, if it is saying about the closed economy, that means what? That whatever national income that is equal to domestic income, because there is no interaction of the producers to the outside of the country for any kind of export or import. And what the next thing about the capital, socialist and mixed economy, that also I have discussed, but let's discuss this again in your next class students. For that time, thank you. Okay, we are are going to meet in the next video. Thank you, students.